But yesterday, the tweet from the Raiders. So here is the latest. George Floyd's brother issued a statement supporting the Raiders yesterday after the team received backlash for their "I can breathe" tweet following the guilty conviction of Derek Chauvin. The statement read in part, "On behalf of our family, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to the Las Vegas Raiders organization and its leadership for their support of our family and for our nation's ongoing pursuit of justice and equality for all. Now, more than ever, we must come together as one and continue on in this fight." So, Shannon, did George Floyd's brother's statement change your opinion on Mark Davis's "I can breathe" tweet?
I still believe it was wrong and insensitive. I wish he had quoted George's brother for what he said, "We can finally breathe again." Not "I can breathe," because that's not what Philinay said. That's not what he said. So normally, if you quote somebody, you quote them verbatim, and you leave nothing to interpretation. But Skip, if the family says we've moved on, I'm fine with that. But I believe this is what's happening. Instead of getting into a back and forth and taking the focus off of my brother and what just this historic moment that just transpired, I'm not going to get into it with an NFL owner. That's not the fight that we want to have. That's not the fight that we choose to have at this moment. There's a time and a place for everything. Hey, I'm going to be, Skip, I'm going to be, I'm going to rise above this. I'm going to say, you know what? I appreciate them for their support. Because right now, it's not about the Floyd family versus the Raiders and a tweet. This is about the Floyd family trying to get justice, not only get justice and accountability for my brother, but moving forward, this would be the standard. This would be the norm, not an anomaly. And so I believe this is where they are. Skip, I'm not going to fight with an NFL owner. I'm not. That's because that's not the fight that I want to have. I'm not going to take the focus off what the focus should be on, which is right here, which is justice for reform. And that's what we want. So for me to go back and forth, when I wish he hadn't said it, now the story, George is, no. We're going to keep the focus on George. This is not about my family and an NFL owner. This is about George Floyd. This is about accountability, not just for George, but for others to come. And maybe some that happened before George, because there are a lot of George Floyd, but for whatever reason, the George Floyd resonated with America unlike any other case before that. And so I'm glad they took the high road. Hey, because that's not the fight I want to have.
Okay. So to your point about picking your battles.
Yes.
One way to decide not to pick this battle, to fire back, would have been just to ignore.
Right.
Just let it go.
Right.
But no, they chose, as you just said, to go complete high road. That they went to the highest road, did the Floyd family, starting with the younger brother.
Right.
And this was a beautiful statement that they made because they want to extend their deepest gratitude. This, for me, was classic sort of killing with kindness.
Right.
It's turning the other cheek,
if
I can go a little New Testament, but it's killing with kindness because the brother's statement is gushing the other way, like, we appreciate your thought. It's like, we understand what you meant, even if between the lines.
It didn't come out.
Yeah. And it was about peace and love. And it was a beautiful sentiment to me, in which they look like the much bigger figures here than the owner of a pro football team that's worth, what, billions of dollars?
Yeah, and basically Phil is saying, the younger brother Phil is saying, our fight is not with you, the Raiders. It's not with you, Mark Davis. The fight is for America and the American justice system. And my brother got accountability. We want those to come after the George Floyd. We want the same accountability. And maybe we can go back and get some accountability from some of those others. So I commend him. I commend him for the way he handled it. And this family has handled this with nothing but class from day one. All they ever wanted was the person that was responsible for their brother's death, for their uncle, their nephew death, was accountability. The man that did this should be held responsible for this.
He should be punished, and I'm pretty sure he will be.
Yes.
Maybe we disagree on how punished he'll be.
But you know what, Skip? They got him secluded. Why they got that man secluded? Why didn't they just put him in jail and let him go? He's a police officer. He know all the tricks of the trade.
What did you say yesterday? He wouldn't last very long.
Hell no. You see how Skip? You see how tough they are with a badge and a gun? All them ones that's real tough with that badge and gun, put them in G-Pop. And then see. But they got to move him out of state. I promise you, he will not be in the state of Minnesota.
No, I got
the 12 and a half years, however long he spent, Skip, he could be in solitary. Because He's too high profile. He's what they call a high profile inmate. And they make names. Ask Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, you see what they did to Jeffrey Dahmer?
I do.
When those guys, they're high profile like that.
I got it.
You got to keep them in solitary.
Okay. One last thought about Mark Davis's post. I'm so with you. It hasn't changed my view of it at all because it was just a bad idea. And again, it was posted on the Raiders account. It just comes out of the blue. Who's I? We didn't even know that it was from the top, from the owner. And to his credit, he did take full credit for it, ownership. But if he had a personal Twitter account, and to your point, if he had tweeted that as sort of a play off the family's tweet about we can breathe, how did it go? Today we were able to breathe again. If you wanted to display that thought from the family and then say, as the owner of the the Las Vegas Raiders, I can breathe, then at least you can say, okay, I sort of get where he's going. But as I said yesterday, this was no time to be clever or look at me, look what I can do on social. Or
how about this, Skip? We can all breathe.
We can all breathe. It was because I can breathe.
Because that's what Phil said. Phil said we all can breathe again.
Because obviously Mark Davis, who inherited this team, has been a supremely privileged white man from birth, right? Okay, so when he says, I can breathe, well, you've always been able to breathe. You've been able to breathe better than anybody's been able to breathe, right? Have you ever had
in a prone position? How many people sleep on their stomach? You can't sleep on your stomach for an extended period of time because the diaphragm has to rise and fall. And now imagine if your arms are behind your back. Try sleeping with your arms behind your back for any length of time and let me know how that works out for you.
Brett Favre is just fortunate that as we speak, he's not still a starting quarterback in the National Football League because these are the kinds of comments that would make it very sticky for him in a locker room right now that is, what 75% black? Okay.
But like you said, Skip, given what just happened, the verdict had just come down, why would you feel the need to say, I find it hard to believe that he intentionally did this? Intent only matters to him. Well, Skip, what is George Floyd's fate? Death. Skip, I shoot somebody 10 times. Man, I ain't mean to kill him. What the hell you think was going to happen if you shoot somebody 10 times?
Yeah. To me, it's Brett's subliminal message to his crowd.
Exactly.
I got your back here.
Yes. Okay. He do all that. Well, I'm not a racist. Nah, but the behavior that they exhibit, you don't have a problem with. And I'm tired of Skip. Talk this. We try to unify the country. Y'all ain't never tried to unify the country. Y'all ain't never. Because guess what, Skip? Sports, they came together to watch sports even when blacks weren't playing. So don't be telling me, oh, it brought everybody together. No, we couldn't watch in the venue that you watched it.
And I told you yesterday, if LeBron and Colin Kaepernick hadn't used their platforms to speak out, I'm not sure Derek Chauvin would have been found guilty on all 3 counts. I think that had direct, powerful impact on that jury.
And Skip, and it was right, man, and I've never seen anything like this. Joy, and you said, I think this is going to be different. You said this might be a watershed moment. It might, you hear them talking about doing away with qualified immunity. You hear them talking about maybe holding the police department. You can sue police departments. Well, now somebody does something wrong. Do you still want it? But I believe this is what you do, Skip. Can you practice medicine without having insurance, medical insurance? Make a police officer make him take out insurance. See, that's what we're going to do. We're going to make you take out insurance because if you can take somebody, doctor can take your life. So we're going to hold you responsible for malpractice. Police officers. Okay, we bankrupt those police departments. How many times can they keep paying 27, 30? Because it's only going up. I mean, it used to be somebody got $500,000 for a death. Now it's 27 million. So it's only going up. Pretty soon, you're going to either conform or you're going to be out of business.
Well, at least we're having this conversation because there was a time 20, 30 years ago, nobody had this conversation on television like we are.
And, man, Skip, can you believe Brett Favre?
Yep, I can.
Okay.
I think he's showing you who he is and always was.
Yes. Did a great job of hiding it.
Boy, I'm having a hard time understanding the Brett Favre stuff and why he was
we understand
these statements. I understand it. I'm still surprised by it. I'm going to leave it there. There have been a lot of reactions and a lot of people sharing their opinions after the verdict, including